guys, what's up? My name is Joshua Ansley. Welcome to another episode of I Am I. I'm coming to you from the yoga room at the San Francisco airport, which I thought was fucking cool as hell. That was probably inappropriate, but I'm the only one in here. Shoot, here comes somebody. You know, it feels amazing to be back on the road. I don't know if it's, I was looking at it, was like, do I love being on the road because it's running from stuff, you know, and that I'm afraid to settle down in some way? And I'm just like, I don't really fucking know, but it just feels like home. You know, I don't know if it's from touring or I was good at touring because of that. I just love exploring. I love seeing new things. I love experiencing new things, you know? So the thing is, like, to be looking at our intentions, right? So exactly that, what is my motivation? You know, it doesn't mean that the actual thing that I'm doing is wrong, per se. It's right things for wrong reasons, wrong things for right reasons, which we have to be careful of, you know? And so what is our intention, our motivation for things? Something that might be right for us at one point might not be right for us at another point. I'm going to do another episode of right and wrong and duality and relativity, and we'll get into that because that's a whole fucking cool-ass concept. But so I try to stay away from the idea of right and wrong. You know, Rumi says, there's a field out somewhere beyond right and wrong, I'll meet you there, something like that, you know. And but I don't want to get into that concept too much, but it really is understanding that it's not necessarily the action, but your intention behind the action, right? So for me, you know, there could have been times when I loved being on the road because it was running, and maybe I did need to settle down and build something up, and that's what I feel like I need to be doing in my life right now, is actually building on something and working something, you know. So I'm staying where I'm at for right now, you know, with little trips like this every once in a while in there. But I think it's really important to see that, first of all, it's very easy to get stuck in thinking that we figured it out when something's working for us. If something's working, right, fucking A, that's fantastic. Keep going with that, you know. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So the problem is when it's not working anymore. Or also the problem is when we become attached to something and expect it to keep working. When we grow, we have to understand that. I said once before about, you know, these things are like boats, using a boat to get across the river. I remember when I read Lord of the Rings, and they got, you know, these boats from Lothlorien or whatever, and there were these like magical, amazing boats that gave them cover and everything. And when they got to where they got out of the river, they just left the boats there, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, and I was a kid, I didn't realize. I was like, I can't leave that behind. But that's the exact example, is like, they used it what they needed it for, and then they left it behind when they got to the other side of the river. You know? So some of these practices, people think that they really know what's best for them, and they think they know, or they know what's best for everybody because it works for them. And that's also something in our lives where a particular thing might work for a specific amount of time. And then if it doesn't work anymore, we need to find something else. Everybody thinks they really know what works, you know? And it's funny because nobody has a fucking clue. And everybody thinks they do from the research based on what they do. So if they're psychologists, they think they get it. They're psychiatrists, if they're neurosurgeons, they're all coming from in the context with which they're looking at it. If they're religious, if they're scientific, whatever the hell it is. And they're all like disputing the other people, you know? And it drives me insane because I'm interested in all these different areas and where they come together, you know? And that's what I was looking for, is those cross sections and where the people are saying the same thing. And most of the time they are, and yet they dispute each other. And everybody thinks that they have the way it works, or they, you know, and even the ones that admit that we know so little about it still think that they know. And if you find out what works for you, then that's fantastic, because I'm not disputing something that works if you're trying something and it works for you. But again, if it stops working, or if you need to find something else, then don't be afraid to look somewhere else. I'm totally monopolizing this yoga room, I think. I think most people are just sticking their heads in here, but they really want to do a practice. I'll get out. But this is yoga, this is union. It really comes down to just like understanding brutal honesty with ourselves, right? And understanding that it's like they teach you in kindergarten or in first grade that you can't subtract 6 from 5, you know? And then you get into the second or third grade and they tell you, well, you can, we just didn't tell you about these thing called negative integers that you have to be able to know about before you can do that, you know? And so there's a lot of like the first things first, you know, and it's like we want to get there. We want to get down there, and it's like, hey, take it easy. Like, and we learn these principles. It's having to let go of the principles. It's kind of like, in order to recognize the magnitude of our potential, we have to find humility. We have to kneel and bow towards that higher thing in order to become one with that higher essence. So you're good to come in if you need to, man. I was just finishing up a vlog. If you want to, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck is a vlog? Anyway, I love you guys, and that's it. That's all I got. Namaste, bitches. What? Too much?